Not yet.
Just run through the injuries, just kind of where we at with some of the guys who've been out the last couple of days.
Why don't you throw them at me and I'll help you from there.
I guess we saw that Collins kind of, I guess he worked out with 11, just got back on the plan for today.
Yeah, it was good to see him back in there. Now we get a couple days leading into practices next week, so feel good about where he's at.
Drew Sample, is that where's that?
Drew's really week to week right now, so don't anticipate him, anytime soon. But just see where he's at.
Marcus Bailey?
Marcus has a hamstring, so don't anticipate him playing this weekend, but should return hopefully shortly after.
Trey Flowers?
Trey Flowers held out today. He'll play a little bit in the game Sunday, just more precautionary today.
How good was it to see your number one group all together in the low red zone
Yeah.
practice?
It was good. That changes the red zone for sure when you had a big target like T and you got Joe pulling the triggers. That was good. We got a lot of red zone work today, kind of a shortened practice. We made this more like an in-season Friday schedule for those guys to start to feel what that routine was like. And so I thought it was a really good day of work.
What about the offensive line? I know it's, no shoulder pads.
Right.
At least they're getting steps together and everything.
It was good, to get LC out there, let him work next to Alex, let him hear Joe operate at the line of scrimmage, which he's been doing, on the walkthrough so far. But just good to get the unit out there.
Is the tentative plan for LC to participate next week against the Rams?
We'll continue to take it day to day and see where he's at. But so far, so good with yesterday and today.
Is that one more injury, Isaiah Prince?
Isaiah he'll really be week to week, with a bicep.
What's next for Dak in his progression to be able to play a full amount of snaps in a game if you guys need him to? Obviously, I know you don't know what's going to happen with Jesse, but
Right.
you still plan to have him a big part of the defense if Jesse's here or not. And he was just saying the speed of the game has been probably the biggest adjustment to him and communication. So how do you, with limited preseason stuff that you're going to let him play, how do you get him ready for what he's going to see in a full NFL game?
Well, practice next week with the Rams is helpful. It's not remains to be seen if who will play in the game when we play the Rams. But that's really, I was just talking to a player just now. It's like we got 4 games in a row. There's no more practices. We're playing this weekend. We're playing twice next week against the Rams, and then playing against them that weekend. So that's the work we have ahead of us. That's going to be great work for a lot of these young players to see different types of players that they're going against, different schemes. And so I think that's exciting for a guy like Dax to be able to see kind of a different group of, this weekend with the Giants and the next week with the Rams was good opportunities for him to continue to accelerate his growth.
And then just following up on that, with him, I know that Lou kind of planned to use him in a number of different ways because of his skill set. He told us that there was a lot you guys could do with him.
Yep.
Do you think it's benefited him to be able to get a bulk of the reps just at one position
Yeah.
in terms of maybe now he can solidify and really hone in on one position and really know it? Do you think that could be a benefit for him?
I do, and that's really what we started doing early was just playing him at free safety and letting him ease into life in the NFL, just doing that in the springtime and early in training camp. And then, as he becomes more comfortable, he's not as comfortable as he's going to be, obviously, with more experience, but start to expand that role a little bit. And so that's been exciting just to see him utilize his skill set and learn a lot of different ways and different positions, and I feel like he's going to be very valuable for us.
Coach, do you think he could get something out of Dante Smith? Will he be able to start maybe Sunday night?
We're hopeful. He got through practice yesterday, looked good out there, was able to go again today. So optimistic that we'll get to see him play on Sunday.
You could maybe move a key maybe inside, perhaps.
We have 3 tackles right now, so we'll play all 3 at tackle.
Jackson Carter available for Sunday or no?
No.
As the way the week unfolded for Jackson, missing a practice and then the COVID and that, is that put him way behind, or can he get back in the mix next week?
Yeah, he'll have time to get back in the mix, but every practice and every game matters for these young players. And so we'll see Cordell have a chance to make the most of these opportunities he's going to get.
Where do you feel like Eli Apple has improved the most? You saw the pass breakdown with Mar in the end zone.
Yeah.
Overall, do you feel like Eli's had a pretty strong camp?
I do.
Do you feel like he's improved it?
Yeah, I think, again, I've always looked at Eli as a consistent player, and I think he's done a nice job as a starting corner for us this camp. So, there's not much for me to expand. I think he's really been a consistent player for us, and it's a good compliment to Cheeto. They're not identical players. They have different skill sets and different strengths, and it's a different look for receivers to go against their different types of play styles and length. And so I think it's been good for our receivers to go against both those guys outside.
It looked like Joe had some really good chemistry out there in the red zone today with Hayden. How excited are you to see that and the potential that is?
Yeah, that's Hayden. Hayden's got a really good catch radius. He's got good burst. He's got a good understanding and feel for some of these concepts down here in the red zone. So I think he's a really good weapon for us in the field, but particularly, like you're saying, in the red zone too.
What have you learned about him in this, the more he's adapted to what you're teaching him and the coaching staff is teaching him? What have you learned about him?
I don't know that I learned it about him, but it means a lot to him. Every rep, even any mistake he made early on, because there's maybe just a play we installed and a look that's a little different. You can just tell how much it means him to get it right, and I've just seen a really physical style of play from him, lately, and that's really cool to see, and we're just really excited to have him in the mix there.
You spoke a lot about last year about how in the red zone you started really strong, then you hit a bit of a lull in the middle stretch of the season. What's the key to taking the next step and being even more efficient in the red zone this season?
No, I mean sometimes it just comes down to a play on the 1 yard line. You just looked at the Jets game. We had 1st and goal on the 1. You don't score. There's a 7-point swing there. So then you feel like you're bad in the red zone. When in reality, the whole scope of the red zone, it was just we weren't very good down on the 1 yard line. And so we don't overreact to it. We've got concepts that we believe in that our guys have a lot of confidence in. We just got to continue to improve them and add some wrinkles here and there that help us as well as we go into each game. But I think that we've got the ability to be a really good red zone offense, and just our guys understanding the significance of the 4-point plays, down there. And it really hurts you when you walk away with 0. So we had several, 1st and goals last year. We walked away with 0 because we went for it on 4th down, and that can be a killer as well.
Any Cam Taylor, Britt, how's he been progressing last week or so?
Yeah, he had surgery on Monday, so progressing is really just these are the first initial days here, where he's back on his feet. You probably saw him at practice, and he'll travel to the game with us and be involved with the team. As a young rookie who we're counting on playing for us. So we'll just continue to take it week to week with him.
So I guess just a rough timetable when he'll be available for you.
We were optimistic with the surgery. I'm not going to put the timetable out there. He will be out for the rest of training camp. But again, it was once you had the surgery, it was a positive conversation we had.
That surgery is obviously core, right?
Mm-hmm.
That area.
Yep.
Frank told us he's been happy with Trey Hill's performance
Yeah.
so far, switching over from center to guard.
Right.
How pleased have you been, and especially with kind of your scenario with the numbers at guard right now that he's been playing how he has?
No, Trey has done a really good job, and I think he's been a consistent presence for us inside. He'll get some opportunities at guard in this game. He's earned those. You didn't want to move him too quick from center because he was really doing a nice job at center early in training camp. And so what we didn't want to do is then move him to left guard, and now it takes away from some of the good work he's been doing at center. So we let him play out there, and now we've moved him to guard some this week, and he'll get an opportunity in the game as well. But he's really developed the right way, here in year 2. That's what we hope to see from him, and he's taken advantage of his opportunities, and so we'll continue to see him grow here over the next 2 weeks.
We expect something to look like for Osai. A lot more?
Not a lot more. I wouldn't say a lot more, no. But be able to work a little bit on special teams and play a little bit defense, but I wouldn't use the phrase a lot more.
Does it matter seeing more of him before? I mean, considering you missed almost all preseason last year, to see more of him at some point, or is that you're still confident that he'll be fine?
Yeah, we're going to get that work next week, so we're going to get a chance to see a lot more of him and guys like that. And so I'm not going to worry too much about this game. He's going to get some work, and then we'll move on to next week.
Is that a physical reason why you guys are managing him at this point, or is there anything else going on there?
No, it's just coming off his injuries from the past. We just want him. He's a guy that goes really hard every single rep, and so we'll limit him in this game. But he's gotten a lot of reps. I mean, been at practice. He gets a lot of reps. We don't manage him that way anymore. Just easing him into the game, and then we plan on a guy like that being critical for us this year, and so you want to manage those guys in the games.
You play caller in the low red zone. You'd love to in the red zone today. Is that what you kind of look for?
Yeah, and I wouldn't use the word crushed. You know, the defense made some plays, and a lot of the plays the offense made were well covered. The ball was probably put the only place it could be put, and the receivers made some really, really good catches. So I don't walk away feeling like we made errors on defense or there weren't plays that they made, because they did. They made plays, and then the offense, you know, made some really, really tough catches and throws as well.
You went through a lot with the offensive line last year. Given where it's at right now at this part of training camp, is there a part of you that is like, it's going to work itself out? I know there are a lot of moving parts,
Yeah.
but everything's going to work itself out.
Yeah, we've had time. It was also urgent, you know, to continue to develop these guys and let guys step up and solidify themselves. But in terms of, you know, having lack of bodies, we're not the only team in the league going through these training camp issues. You know, you look around and it's everybody right now. And so it's all just about how you manage it and how you address it. And I think Frank's done a really good job of getting those guys the work they need at the positions they need. Sometimes you'll see us take a little 2-minute break because the guys got to go with the ones and then the twos and then maybe with the ones again. And so sometimes the breaks are built in to give an Akeem Adeniji an extra 2 minutes, you know, because he's just gone 12 straight reps. And so we're doing our best to manage that, get the work, and really evaluate those guys and make sure that we got the cohesiveness, especially in that first unit, that we're looking for heading into the first game.
Kind of a random question, but when you got here in 2019, what led to the decision to y'all play music a lot more throughout practice, like during drills?
I don't remember. I would assume it's just all been where I've been at. In Miami, we played music. LA, we played music. So that was just kind of what I was used to. So we played music.
It seems like there's a very much like an old school, new school shift in how you go about whether you, I know it sounds stupid, but whether you play music or not in practice. Why is that kind of the way in kind of the coaching profession across all levels?
I don't know, because I really believe everywhere I've been has done it. So I don't think much of it. It's white noise to me. I couldn't tell you what song has been played. And so I don't even notice. If we went through a day and there was no music, I might not even notice, to be honest with you. So.
Come across your radar, how many fights there seem to have been at other joint practices across the league, or is that just kind of something that you expect to see when those things are going on? And at what point do you have conversations with Sean, or how do you handle all of that?
I think part of it is just where we're at in training camp right now. You know, yesterday was kind of our first day of small scuffles as well. And guys are just tired of going against the same guy over and over and over. It'll be good to go against a different team next week. I think every situation is different, what leads to them. You know, we'll do a great job of educating our players. We're here to get great work and you know, not do anything to take away from that. So we'll just address it as it comes.
Do you anticipate Tyler Shelvin playing more on Sunday?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
He's feeling better then?
Yes. Yes.
Is this a big development period for him or a big evaluation period for him?
For Tyler? Yeah. Yeah, you know, to get back in the mix. I think he's feeling good physically. And so it'll be exciting to let him get out there in the game and get a chance to really evaluate him.
What about Kareem, Coach? I know Kareem was kind of want to manage him, too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect out of him on that Sunday night?
Yeah, we like to play him a little bit on Sunday. You know, he started to work his way back into team drills yesterday. Thought he looked good, and today wasn't much, as you guys saw, but I like to see him get an opportunity on Sunday and see what he can do in probably a limited amount of snaps.
Good.
Great.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Coach?
Thank you.